We are live. Hi, Cece. Whore.
Whore.
You came in the perfect time.
Lore Tuesday.
Alright, Cam.
Okay.
Isn't
I
it
feel
fun
like
to
a
be
lot of
doing
stuff
Lore
was mine,
Tuesday
too.
when I'm writing something that I still haven't been able to finish?
Oof.
Tuesday morning.
I was
Don't worry.
supposed to design the suit last night. I didn't get to doing that.
Oh.
Part of it was I didn't want to like start really designing it. I was gonna ping you, but then I realized it was way too.
I'm playing hide the body in Roblox.
Hide the body?
Why are you playing games when you should be loring your Tuesday?
Hi,
No, I
Frog.
do not want to learn my Tuesday.
Shadow, Ina, Light.
Oh, wait, the teleporter's
I'm eating
broke.
almonds.
Never mind. That's a sign that I should
Mm.
learn my
I
Tuesday.
ate almonds like
Alright guys,
potato
are we
chips.
ready for the wholesome lore today? Totally not, totally not
Don't worry.
sensitive, totally not.
The ballroom
Just
stuff?
casually omitting half of the submissions in Lore Tuesday currently because it's all ball stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
Everything that is Winter Ball related, it will be read Thursday. I'm gonna get through as much as I can.
Lore Thursday.
Today. I may be quitting my job tomorrow. We'll see.
Good job, Freya.
They
I
told
have
me
to pay you, bro.
they told me that payment would come through tomorrow. Strawberry,
Has some.
thank you for the 37 months. You're struggling to eat
Hi
cold
Freya,
tomato
I'm
soup?
struggling to eat cold tomato soup.
Ew.
Why would
Why
you
would
do
you
that?
ever eat cold tomato soup?
That sounds terrible. Anyway, so if they don't pay me tomorrow, or they pay me like way less than I should be getting, I will be quitting.
I comment.
And then
Do you
I'll be
think it's
streaming
too-
every day.
Do you think it's too early for a Fireball edit by Pitbull?
A
Or should I
what?
wait?
What?
Fireball.
Oh.
No.
Oh my god.
What is it?
Yeah,
Here, I'm
Okay,
hitting. I'm
Have you guys
hitting
seen
this.
Dispatch?
I've been waiting.
Dare me.
Like,
For those of
I've
you-
said this on the.
Who are listening to the music that I'm playing right now, it's from the Copper album that I made that's finally on Spotify after like 3 fucking months. Anyway.
Let's
Oh, yeah.
go!
I was talking with Cam. Have you guys played Dispatch?
I have
I don't
not.
have the money to play it.
Okay. Dispatch has like a specific song and people are making edits to that song and I must think of doing like, you know how we have the Soulless Avengers idea going on with like some of the staff and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, it would be really cool if like all of us, like, you know, like the main people who are like having like going to missions and stuff like that, we just like, hey, I will make an edit of it.
Edit of like fighting to that song because it plays during like a bar fight.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
Also, I
Fireball.
Cece the Great, Cece the Goat helped me
Fireball.
design a armor for Mira for fighting.
Spawn says hi, by the way, comment.
Spawn.
Hi, Spawn. CC, my beloved.
Alright. I don't know how many of you actually want to help me read stuff. I just scrolled through everything that I need to go through, and it's so much.
Oh. Oh no.
So,
Yeah.
We're here for emotional support.
yeah, thank you.
I can help read. But I
can
said
help
I'm
you
gonna
too.
also give you but I said remind you to take water.
Oh, I
And
have.
by you I
I
mean
have
everybody
sweet
who.
tea.
I said water.
Water.
You forgot to do timestamps, Frog? Oh.
That's good, Frog.
Rip. Okay.
Wait, from where are we getting?
I think it's December 3. You didn't get me with that one.
Oh dear lord.
That is a lot.
Yeah. Normally, okay, I'm gonna share, or I'm gonna switch over to Lord
Okay.
Tuesday so people can see. Okay. My gosh, Cam. Oh, Spawn
I just-
got a
what?
Spawn got a sub.
You could drive, son.
Oh,
Well,
say,
no,
Swan, you
it's
got
from
the sub.
Cam.
Hi.
My
Oh, the
camera.
hype
Yeah, we
train.
have a
so-
level 1 hype train.
Let's go.
Gifting 1 sub is enough
Let's
to start a
go.
level 1 hype trade. Awesome.
Look, okay.
It's
It's
slamming
slamming
time.
time!
Slamming time.
This is perfect.
It's slamming time. Oh, I have to slam it up in here. 1 second.
I'm the father, as the father of the
Uh.
Schlammen, I approve.
Huh?
Trying to make
Father of the what? Father of the Son, the Holy Spirit. What the fuck?
my. What? Huh?
Huh?
Oh my gosh! A comet gave one a light. Let's go.
Oh my gosh,
Let's go.
slamming it up.
Comment, thank you.
Let's go. I wanted to be included in the slamming.
People, use your primes!
Use your primes.
What the fuck? Wait, what happened?
What?
What happened to my Twitch?
Your Twitch?
Yeah,
it
it's
breaking?
like
Huh?
it logged me out. So the gods.
Oh no.
Oh.
Twitch.tv/smile Freya. There we go.
All right, here. I'll
You know
show.
There
Oh
we
my
go. I
gosh,
got it.
95 bits. Let's go.
The 95 biddies.
I don't know what to call you on Twitch anymore. I call you freaking Balios in the SMP, but also Saint
okay.
with 60 months.
Saint.
What is this? I'm scared. Why are there so many people
Schlemmer.
doing things?
I have 1 second.
I was gonna say normally, if you can even see my cursor, normally the bar for scrolling down
I'm
is
not
like
attracted
here.
sexually to cars.
1 bit.
I am not attracted
Oh
my
Throw
God.
his
to
penny
cars
at your head.
romantically.
Yeah.
I will say I did buy a bunch
Another
of
night.
like I did buy like $500 worth, or not $500, 500 bits, which is like $5 worth. During your
stream?
subathon.
Oh, I
That
should
was,
do
like,
that
2 years
again.
ago.
Actually, no.
And
I promised myself I would not do a streamathon thing again because it broke me. But I appreciate all the love.
Yeah,
in
I
chat
think it
right
broke
now.
all of us, but you specifically, Jesus.
36 hours.
Why am I second?
36?
Anyway, the bar is normally down here. It is up here. It's like twice as long as normal Lore Tuesday. So I'm gonna do
Oh.
as much as I can today. I'm not gonna stream
Yeah.
until like midnight. Save your money. Dear Balios, save
Yeah,
your
save
money.
your money.
Bailey will save your money.
All right, we're gonna get started so we can get through as much as possible. All right, we have
There we go.
strawberry lore. Oh, don't worry, Frog. We'll watch them. I feel like if I quit my job, I will be streaming every day. I might do like. Well, I'll definitely do Lore Friday again because I'll be able to actually do that instead of streaming at 9 p.m.
Your labor office. Sorry. Have a
I
nasty
will
cough.
do that. I
Have a
will.
nasty
Look,
cough.
I'll do that. I'll do it. I'll do it.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
You've been saying that.
I know. Look, okay, I'm really bad at. There's a reason that Freya's a self-insert. Okay, I'm also bad at like doing things. And
I am going to make Freya unionize.
Freya, was my lawyer contact not good enough for you?
Do you have a lawyer contact?
Do you remember the lawyer poster board that I sent you when I was driving?
Look, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. I need to do the lore now. Look, it's Lore Tuesday. Wow, look at that. It's lore, guys. Okay.
You know what? Oh, you want to know what it also is? Labor Rights Tuesday. Get calling.
Tomorrow. You guys, like, when I get paid, I will jump in VC and you guys, I'll tell you how much I got paid and you can tell me if it's enough.
Freya,
I'm really
what?
bad at money, so
Freya,
I can't
Freya,
really say
hold
anything.
up. Let me do the math right now.
Cam!
What?
Freya, if you do not get paid like $1,200
I had some bits
right
lying
now,
around. What's
I
the
will,
problem?
I will
200
make
bits
sure.
lying around? Also, Mika, blah, 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 blah. I'm not hearing you. Blah, 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 blah.
Freya, I will make sure I find a lawyer list for you. Guys, Smile SMP funds Freya's lawsuit and everybody, it gets back to the server, guys, trust.
Lawsuit
Exactly.
Tuesday.
Lawsuit Tuesday. It's like Birth Tuesday, everything has to happen on Tuesday, bro.
I actually said birth cello today. And that
Oh,
immediately
my
regretted
God.
saying that.
So why do you say it?
Let me
Because it
pull
was
up
his
the GIF.
birth,
Let me
it's
put
his
up the GIF and I'm gonna
birthday, and so I was like, oh, birth cello. I mean, birthday cello.
Birth cello.
Birth Cello. Guys, that's canon. It's canon how Freya and Marcella are gonna
Freya and Marcella are gonna give birth?
No, Marcella's
What?
gonna give birth, but Freya's gonna be the father. If you know, you know.
Damn it, you
Oh
ruined the end of
no,
the
hype
season.
is over.
A hype
They
chest?
both give
What is
birth.
this? Oh, I got
Huh?
an
Hype
emote.
chest?
Oh, wait, this is kind of fire. I'm gonna share this emote. Where is the emote? Where can I use it? Here we go. It's kind of a fire emote.
Who's this Diva? That's the name of the emote.
It's called Who's This Deep? Oh, Mega Consume.
Consume.
Let me.
Interesting.
Okay.
Mhm.
We're actually gonna get to the lore now. And stop talking about.
Yeah, we'll
my
give birth on
current
March
job.
9th, 2026.
Alright. Lock in. Alright, we got Strawberry lore. Strawberry and Celestine moment Yuri in progress. How do you even say
Yes.
Celestine but short? Cell?
Stella.
Cele?
Hell.
Cele.
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 Celery.
Alright. Cell E. Okay, says Strawberry. Selly, can I talk to you? Of course, Blueberry, you don't need to ask. When I was trying to restrain Villo, she said something weird. She asked if I came here to save Strawberry, which is weird because I am Strawberry. And then she said I'm way in over my head. What does that mean? That's strange. Although you have changed a lot from when we first met. What are you on about? I am me. Well, firstly, you have no recollection of how we met. You seemingly disappear for a month just to randomly appear a month later with different attire and your memory's wiped. I still believe you are yourself, but you need to admit how strange it is, Strawberry. You don't even remember Casimir's death. Who is Casimir? Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oof.
Honestly, same.
Dude.
Who is Casimir?
Yeah, who's that guy?
Who is that guy? I don't... Yeah. Dementia SMP.
Dementia SMP is real.
Or we have from Vire. Entry, I forgot. I've been recently coughing up this reddish black goo. I don't know what it is, and it's really weird because, like, I'm a computer virus. I might just brush it off for now. It doesn't seem too bad yet. I might go visit Lynx or Red soon. Might help with how boring it's been recently. I'll also go to that winter ball thing next week. Anyways, that's all for entry, I forgot. If you're a computer, how did you forget? Or a computer virus. I guess computer viruses can forget. Why is my stomach hurting?
I'm sorry. Somewhere in the middle of that, I got flashed with Bubble Boys.
What?
Oh.
Oh. He
That's
used his goo.
what God.
Oh.
That's God did.
Did someone ever get a clip of he used his goo? 'Cause I need to go back.
Used to do.
He used his goo.
It felt like,
Forga.
bro, I have so many audios to edit to like the Smiles and Peace, not even funny.
Oh, I need to turn on the little thing so you guys can be. There you are. You're in the corner now.
Yay.
Hell
Oh.
yeah.
All right.
I love how Cam is
I've
still
been
like just
cornered.
dancing.
Oh wait,
I'm
I gotta
still
change.
Tenna.
Oh,
Why
not
am
there.
I there? Yeah, why aren't you there? Hold on. I gotta fix it. I can fix it. Beep boop beep boop beep boop.
Oh, I think it might use your like base avatar or something.
Yeah, it uses your avatar, but hold on. I just need to
Like it-
add light.
Oh, add light.
There we go. Save.
I remember so many times I've just scared Freya by accident because I just click on this because I see an active PC.
I am there though. I don't want myself.
Oh, flappy wings.
Okay, delete Freya. There. I'm out of it now. Okay, cool. A terrible trial for a frog.
Oh,
My video is not
Unfortunate.
paired with this doc, by the way, says Frog.
What is it?
Yes.
What? A video is not paired.
It's-
Okay, cool. Can you timestamp the Bubble Boy jump scare in the VOD? I get scarred. Become scarred.
I'll see if I
Bubble
can grab the
boys.
clip.
Akira!
Akira.
Akira.
Akira! Ah,
Do I have the Vine Boom noise?
is this my legacy?
I
Making
am
bubble boys?
Steve.
Are you sure?
I'm Steve.
Flint and
Steve.
Why do I have all of those? Those are from so long ago. Okay.
Oh,
Where's the soundboard?
I think I have everyone's soundboard muted. Your spelling ran away. Alright, trial fit for a frog. Warnings, frog napping, light torture, fire. 4 tabs, 4 different days. Keep in mind that froggers have frog skin that they wear, which allows them to turn into a frog when they get in water. The frog skin is not frog's skin. Frog was not hurt during this. This was checked by 2 lore helpers. Wow. Congrats, lore helpers. I mean, thank you, lore helper, and whatever.
Can thank you.
Yes, exactly. Thank grats. November 30th. Violence had escaped his cell with some help. Of course, the first thing he does is enact revenge upon the person who got him stuck in that jail cell. Frog had made a grave mistake, believing she was doing the right thing, betraying a friend like that. The clown had nothing holding him back from justice. The poison he held was the key to getting his revenge. After all, this is what happens when you turn your back on a friend. Once the poison was splashed onto the frogger, her lungs began to heave and she began to choke. A weird burning sensation filled her lungs and covered her skin. She dropped the book she was reading about axolotl care and ran after the laughing clown. How could this be funny? Frog couldn't find him once she exited her home, her vision blurry and doubling. She sat down on the floor, feeling like she was about to pass out. Her body hurt so much from the poison. How could the clown do this? How could he escape his cell? The moment her eyes closed, Violence stepped out of his hiding spot, grabbed Frog, and brought her somewhere no one would find her. It took maybe 15 to 20 minutes for Frog to wake up again. Her eyes barely opened when she heard his laughter. The room was slightly lit by a hanging light. It had concrete floors and metal bars in the front. It looked like the same jail cell Violence was held in, the same one Frog called inhumane. She looked over at Violence, who stood near her missing frog skin that was held suspended in the air by weird-looking hooks by the shoulders and lower back sections. Her hands were tied together by a chain to the wall. If her hands weren't tied, she would be trying her best to get her skin off those hooks and on her back. Violence's smile was cut short as he began to speak, his smile turning into an irritated expression. Why did you betray me? The frogger could barely talk, the poison still having a strong effect on her. I didn't mean to, she strained, feeling her heart sink in her chest at the condition of her frog skin. I thought I was doing the right thing? The cloud's irritated expression shifted slightly. Why did you go against me in court? He spoke as he crossed his arms. Frog tensed. I didn't know what to say. She was almost yelling at him, although trying not to. I was vague, wasn't I? I wasn't trying to lie. Violence didn't respond again, staring at the frogger with anger and distrust. Why didn't you break me out like promised? He turned his back to her, picking something up behind him before turning back around, holding a lighter. Frog started to speak up more. I tried. I really tried. I couldn't find the key. She lied. She lied to his face. To this face. She had found the key, held it in her hands, yet the feeling of doing something obviously wrong felt terrible, so she put it back. That split-second decision led up to this. Violence's jaw clenched before he spoke. You couldn't find the key. The Frogger nodded, watching the sprout on the top of the frog's skin head wilting. I couldn't find it. I'm sorry. There was a long pause between them, Violence's grip tightening on the lighter. Remember what I said about you being a dumb little frog that can't do anything? He frowned before his thumb rolled on the spark wheel, igniting the frog's skin up in flames. Frog tried to pull on the restraints, holding her to the wall as she watched her frog skin ignite. No, I did try. I tried my best, I promise. I didn't mean to go against you. I tried my hardest, Violence. I'm not dumb. I'm sorry. She started screaming at him, yet all he did was smile while watching it burn. Tears rushed from the frogger's eyes as she watched her only way to become a frog like her family turn into a crisp. Soon the burnt frog skin clung to the metal of the hooks, holding it up, his smile now gone. Why would you do that? She yelled, trying again and again to get free. He spoke again in a questioning manner. Why be a frogger if you can't do anything useful other than hop around? He started walking towards the door of the dim cell. However, he didn't leave before setting something up, his voice loud in her ears even though he stood so far away. Don't try to leave. You try and poison arrows will get you, and we don't want that. Frog didn't respond, just sat in silence. His footsteps finally faded out of earshot. Frog slowly looked over what used to be her frog skin. Something that once was a part of her was gone now. Her back continued to hurt as she sat in silence. It felt like an eternity in that cell, her vision still blurry from her tears. All she could hear in the silence was a weird buzzing in the walls, along with what sounded like a radio clicking through signals. Frog tried to listen more, but it would go silent every few minutes. Frog could also smell a weird smoky smell on top of what crispy mess her frog skin was. An odd thumping sound caught her attention. Also, I love Bagel jumps in chat just to say, not gonna lie, frog does taste good. The animal.
Oh wow.
Cooked frog legs.
Cooked
That's
frog.
crazy.
Of course, it's Bagel.
An odd thumping sound caught her attention, her head aching terribly as she looked up at the ceiling. It sounded like footsteps with wood creaks. Someone better fix their floor. Frog's head tilted back down to rest against her knees before she jolted, hearing the sound of something or someone crashing down onto the floor. Her ears perked up, feeling a lot more sensitive in the worst ways possible. Things varying in weight thumping onto the floor with that big crash. Frog curled up a smidge more in her corner, her eyes darting around when she heard weird metallic sounds coming through the ceiling. Her eyes shut tightly as a masculine yell came through. Suddenly, an irony smell made her nose crinkle, her ears moving slightly as if they were pinning back. Soft drip drops of something leaking between the floorboards made her feel icky. The delayed laugh of seeing. Stop! Ah! I'm gonna actually be scared of that job application once I quit. Then a feminine voice came in clear above her. Shh, it's okay, it's okay. Frog tilted her head slightly, looking up at the ceiling. We'll be home soon. Don't worry. Shh. Frog knew the voice was not for her, but she so dearly hoped someone would say that to her. December 1st.
Oh.
Poor Frog.
Why did I imagine
Man.
when the shh, I just imagined that picture of like someone like caressing someone's lips into like just shutting up.
Frog jolted awake to the sound of a door slamming out of her line of sight. Her ears perked up as she listened closely, her body scrunching into a corner. The sound of heavy metal getting sloppily dropped onto a wooden table was ringing in her ears. Her hands pulled close to her head as she listened, hearing a voice, one that sounded like the one from yesterday. Damned planet, damned people. Then there was nothing. Frog's eyes darted across the darkness as she heard a burner turning on, then something being uncorked, and glass bumping against each other. The sound of the glass bumping together made Frog's hands press against her forehead, her head hurting too much to handle all of this change. Frog's head felt heavy, her ears twitching at every sound like she was hyper-aware of everything while remaining sluggish. After a while, she slowly awoke again, this time her hands and feet tied to an odd circular contraption in the middle of the room. Violet stood next to a bucket and a lever, a small smile on his face. "How was your sleep?" he questioned, only to get no response from the frog. With a frown, he reached into a bucket at his feet that held a few knives. Frog's eyes widened. "Why do you have that? Please tell me those are fake?" she questioned. Violet suddenly threw the knife at her. Luckily, the knife landed between her head and right arm. "To have a bit of fun, and they might be real." His smile half returned. Frog looked horrified. "That's not fun." Violet smiled a bit more. "Aw, how about we make it more fun then, huh?" He reached back, pulling the lever next to him, which began to spin Frog in circles on the spinning wooden circle painted with bright yellow stars and blue balloons. For what he deemed to be super fun, he began throwing knives at Frog. Frog had only really tense up and prayed to the stars for none of them to land on her. After what felt like ages, he finally stopped. His hand pulled the lever backwards to halt the spinning of the poor Frogger. Frog opened her eyes a little, the room still spinning for her. She didn't say anything as he came closer to pull the knives from the wooden board she was tied to. "Didn't get you, did I?" he questioned, a little bit of genuine concern in his voice as he pulled the final, totally fake, knife out. "No," Frog spoke quietly. Violet frowned. "Well, that's no fun." He smiled a bit and untied Frog from the board. Frog sank to the ground when she was let go. "Thank you," she mumbled quietly. Violet only frowned at her before looking up, the two hearing something much like footsteps. Violet firmly tied Frog's hands to the chain on the wall before leaving her alone again. The smell of her burnt frog skin lingered in the air. Damn, this is rough. I feel really bad for everything that I had Freya say to Frog during the faction meeting. Like Freya's like dismissive. Okay, in her defense, she did not know that this happened, but she was really dismissive, and I apologize.
Oh.
Freya does not know empathy, Kennen.
Freya is, well, no, she's empathetic. She just doesn't. To me, Freya, like, she doesn't know how to handle. She doesn't like feeling, sadness, pain, everything like that. So she does everything that she can to like avoid that. So, dismissing it or like playing it off as like not being that bad helps her feel
Sounds
better.
like someone.
Oh.
What are you? Look. She's a self-insert for a reason.
Oh.
Sorry, that one
Oh
came
my
a little too
God.
myself. I was just like, I saw opportunity, I took it.
So it's fortunate enough that Ellie didn't do anything else. Is Ellie in here? Oh no.
She's been the female voice this entire time.
Oh. I guess that makes sense. She was working with violence. All right, December 2nd. Her nose almost twitched at the smell that seemed to fill the dark room. She couldn't really see anything, but she could definitely smell something being cooked. Was it apples? Frog hadn't gotten the chance to share apples with her frog friends. Just strawberries so far. Mumbling was heard through the walls, a conversation that was hushed. Her eyes shut, trying to regain energy that felt like it was draining out of her. Suddenly, she heard something, a louder, clearer voice. "Cyros?" That feminine voice called out clearly. Frog perked up, trying to straighten her posture without her back hurting terribly for some reason. "Operator." That was all Frog could hear. That clear word and then more muffled robot noises. Unfortunately, the poison still had a strong effect on her, making her sleepy, her body aching and her lungs burning. Soon enough, her eyes fluttered closed. Frog had had enough. She wanted out. So she shifted slightly in her spot, lying down on the cold floor to the best of her ability, trying to get closer to the exit without triggering the poison arrow trap. She could hear some more hushed voices, stuff about cameras, images that were fake. Frog couldn't understand a lot of it, her head all fuzzy and jumbled. A burning smell filled the air. This time it smelled like burnt apples. Frog couldn't help but chuckle tiredly. Whoever was cooking had burnt their food. Frog unfortunately stuck one of her legs out a bit too far, triggering an arrow to shoot out at the wall adjacent to it. Thankfully, Frog was just low enough to the ground to avoid getting hit. Filled with a lot of anxiety, Frog scrambled back into her corner. She heard two footsteps, one heavy and rushed, which sounded like boots, and the other a little more calm that sounded like they were wearing heels. Pain surged through her chest, causing her to cough and tense up in her corner. Violence basically ran over to Frog. What did you do? Frog looked up at him, a worried expression on her face. Nothing. Violence looked over at the arrow, obviously stuck in the wall. I can see the arrow. Don't be stupid. Frog nodded timidly as he left with a concerned look. Her vision was starting to distort again, the stone walls looking wobbly and blue and yellow at the edges. Frog's head rested against her knees, her eyes shutting once again. December 3rd. Frog's sleep was shattered when the sound of screaming filled the walls. Her hands tried to cover her sensitive ears, yet she could only cover one. She tilted her head to press one ear against her shaking knees while her tied-up hands covered the other ear. The screaming was loud, yet muffled. It sounded like it was coming from above. She could roughly hear the words. I was really sure that would work. Maybe it needs a different formula. But I can't sedate him again. That would have long-term repercussions. Frog shook her head, ringing starting in her ears, but she could still somewhat hear. Cease. Shut up already. Then a loud yet dull thump, and silence. She looked around her room, noticing that a new trap was set. Another poison arrow tripwire was set close to the floor. Great. Now she can't crawl out of here. Her vision started to distort again, horrible things appearing in the dark. She shook her head, trying to get it to stop, only to look up and see Violence standing at the doorway. Frog tensed, staying silent as she stared at what he held. What? Scared of some cake? He chuckled, walking close enough to set the plate of cake down in front of her. He must have turned off the poison arrow traps before he came in. She stared at it and then at him, shaking her head again as her vision got worse. No, she mumbled, glancing between him and the dark. Well, eat it, all right? He smiled. Don't want you wasting away in here. He chuckled, trying to hide his concern as he walked out of the cell. The sound of the poison arrow trap clicking to turn back on made Frog flinch slightly, her eyes prying away from the darkness to the cake. Why a cake of all things? It was decorated with pink frosting and little star sprinkles. Hesitantly, Frog began to eat it. After she took a few bites, she felt weirdly tired again. No way he put something in it, right? Then her vision went dark. Violence came back in once he knew she was out cold again. He untied her hands and took her to her home, placing her in the basement, the same one she trapped him in. Violence took a step back, staring at what he had done. Frog no longer had her frog skin. It had been burnt to a crisp. She looked different. Her ears were shaped differently. His head tilted slightly as he stood in silence, guilt seemingly flooding his mind before he walked up the stairs. Maybe he went too far. Poor Frog! God damn!
Yes, Violence, you did go too far.
Yeah. Well, at the beginning of the season, I was like, yeah, she's gonna get traumatized.
Yeah.
And I called it.
Seems that Clown Boy was also busy baking. That's crazy. That's really funny. I'm gonna use that at some point.
Oh, man.
All right, from Light, search logs.
I can read that one.
All right.
December 2nd, 2497. Such areas, Moontide Kingdom, Kindlegram, and the areas between Moontide Kingdom and the Keepers of Solace. Such result, nothing found. Personal notes. No sign of Elia, Waters, or Frog in these areas. No new information was found. I avoided Croy and Kron while I was in Kindlegram. I didn't want to pull them into this mess. I heard nothing from the Keepers of Solace, or even Freya at this time. I doubt anything was being done on their end. They likely only put up posters and that's it. Nothing else to help. My attempts to hack serials had been mixed, to say the least. I've at least gotten access to Rodus's archive. It appears Celia had been a threat long before this point. She had sent someone named Flair Celta after him using lies. At least that's my guess. And Vardas acted in self-defense when she pulled a gun on him. She died from an intracranial hemorrhage, from what I can tell from the tape recording I found later on. It was likely caused when Vardas had hit her on the head with an heavy metal object. But it proves that Elia had been escalating her schemes since the beginning, even before I arrived on the planet and met Dad, Waters. I'm rambling. I'm going to take a nap, so Dad doesn't harbor me for not taking care of myself while he is gone. God, I miss him. Log 2. December 3rd, 2497. Searched areas: Kibos of Solis, Riverside, Arcturus, the Monastery of Red Tears, and areas in between. Search results: nothing found. Personal notes: nothing found on this day either. I was right, nothing was being done from the Keepers of Souls, and I tried to not let it bother me, but it's hard. Frog doesn't even have a fucking missing person's poster. And that's not even getting started on the fact Dr. Magnus was severely injured, and Okul is gone. There wasn't even an alert or anything. That damned rodent is likely going to target anyone she believed wronged her, including me included. Never mind. I'll stick to more populated areas. And I'll likely skip Falsifier in my next search. I've heard Vardas' complained of the cold numerous times while we looked. I can guess that Alia equally hates the cold, so she'd likely be somewhere where it isn't freezing. No sign of a Frog anywhere. Additional notes: Frog is back. I'm going to curse violence. I'm going to make violence rust from the inside out. He had burned her skin. She was in pain. I could sense it. It felt so similar to her dying. Gods above, why would he do this? Was his need for revenge worth it at this point? Gods, this entire thing is making me stressed. I want Dad back. He made me safe. He made it seem that everything was alright. I'll get him back. I hope that I can get him back.
Wait, I
So-
think you need a new father. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry.
December 4th, 2497. Searched areas: Lilac Expeditions Cave, HOE lands, and areas in between. Search result: nothing found. Well, nothing. I'm starting to worry that Waters had either killed that Elia had either killed Waters or taken him off planet. I've been trying to hold out hope, but it is getting harder as time passes. Anyways, I might have dropped something at the Lilac Expeditions HQ. Kim had come to the facility to return one of my notebooks. Thank the gods he didn't read it. It was one of the notes I had written in case I die at some point. I still find it ironic that it was my note for Dad. Never mind that. What's important is that Cam knows AI and has offered to help me hack Zeros to find Elia and, by extension, Waters. I could not thank him enough. I've been hitting a wall ever since I started my attempts. Maybe with his help, we can get through. I pray that we can.
You should honestly do like audio logs sometime. You read that very well.
That'd be fun.
I'm
Thanks.
something of a scientist myself.
I'm
Oh,
with
yeah,
the science
I was saying-
team.
Oh yeah, what I wanted to say, like, you need a fair figure that doesn't go missing.
Yeah.
No!
Damn.
It's 2 for 2 for so far in Solace. First we got Croy, and then we got Waters.
No.
I'm scared who's gonna be the
I'm
next
so big of a
victim.
You can
Gatsby
watch out.
myself. Oh my god.
No. Please no.
All right. Tall man will adopt you light.
Who the fuck is Tall Man?
Tall
Who the hell
man.
is Tall
That
Man?
sounds
Basically-
terrifying.
No. Tall man's really Tall man's really nice. He's a
Tall
bit of a
man's-
therapist.
Tall man sounds like
Huh?
something I see at the end of my bed when I take NyQuil and go to bed.
Yeah,
No,
it's,
he's
it's like
very-
a
Your
skill.
cryptid just dropped.
He is very nice. He is very nice. I've actually mentioned him in Light's Lore before.
All right.
He has been mentioned. He's very nice. But Feather just hasn't made any laws with him. Yes.
All right. We have some Bloom lore, an old friend. I throw another piece of metal in my ever-growing scrap heap. Copper, iron, steel, so many pieces of metal and wires, but all of them useless. How am I meant to fix myself when everything I find or make is useless? I need help. Who do I go to? I know no one. I watch people through cameras. PB is somewhere, and I'm just as useless as this scrap heap. Kicking the pile lightly with my foot, I sit down against the wall with a huff. I hug my legs to my chest, eyeing one of the many holes in my surface. I bury my face into my arms. Who do I even have to depend on? I'm guessing this is... So that was Bloom, and this is question mark. I huff out an annoyed breath, pulling myself onto this stupid island, a large tree looming above. How old is that thing? I could take a sample for later, though I have no clue who is here. Brushing myself off, I approached the only door I could find. It stuck out of the mountain part of the island. I quickly entered, shutting it quietly behind me. I cleaned off my glasses using my cloak and perched them back on my nose. Slowly, I peer around the corner into what seems to be a work area, metal on a work table, a few conveyors. I narrowed my eyes at the mess and moved to go up the stairs from the right of the entrance. They were overgrown looking, but I'd much rather know what's above me than below for the moment. A chicken pecked at the floor in the room to the left, a seating room apparently. Moving around the corner, I glanced at the camera up on the wall, then into the room on the right, which held lots of books and a globe. This place was decently organized for how much greenery there is. A light flickered in the hallway to my left, so I continued up the stairs on the right. Another bunch of hallways was at the top. To the left was a piano, there were more stairs, and then one last room on this floor. I pushed open the door and looked around. A fireplace was against the back wall, more bookshelves, a pile of metal and wires, then everything went black. Again, back to Bloom. A crunch resounded through the room as the intruder hit the floor. I peered down at the limp figure, a dark green cloak covering his head and upper body, a pair of very broken sea green glasses that had ended up a few feet away in the scrap pile. I pulled the top part of the cloak away from his head and froze. Pascal. Why was he here? Why didn't I get an alert that he was here? Shit. A trickle of blood was coming from his nose. His arm had ended up in a weird position, and I was uncertain what to do from here. After a few more seconds of watching his unconscious form, I decided to move him. I got him onto his back and laid out on the carpet, and then I did a scan. Broken arm. His nose will be fine. I just hit him a tad too hard, and he'd end up with a decent bruise on his face. I quickly went through my information databases and found out how to wrap an arm, slipping a makeshift sling over the mildly horrid wrapping. I carefully picked him up and brought him down to my side of the factory's lower floor, settling him onto the bed in the guest room. I stared at him for a moment, tapping into the camera that was outside this room and walking out, shutting the door behind me. I'm not alone anymore. He's here. And I heard him. I stared at the stairs for a moment, then let out a breath. He'll be okay. I went upstairs and curled up beneath the piano. Aww. I'm glad Pascal is... Well, that is my question. How is Pascal here? But I'm glad that, he's finally on Solace.
Yeah.
Let's
Oh my god. Keitra. Come on! Hold on. I'm sorry. I was excited for the next intro.
see. All right, here we go. Hello, Strawberry.
They are you.
theory. Oh, hey, Celestine. I'm sure you've heard about the upcoming ball. Oh, yeah, I have. It sounds fun. Well, I was thinking that possibly we could go together. Oh, wow, really? As peers, of course. Pff, don't be so silly. We don't have to go as friends, Celestine.
Unless.
I think you're pretty cool. It's a date. This face kills me.
Lesbians! The lesbians! Let's go!
Everyone's losing the ability to. This has caused a stroke. A mass stroke in this VC, apparently.
I saw it like 2 weeks before it got posted, so I'm not really phased.
Usually, if there's like a comic or something, I do read that before stream just because I like the pretty pictures.
Yuri bomb.
Speaking of lore with Tall Man Light, can I draw something with you and him?
Yes.
That's
go ahead.
anonymous.
Tall Man.
That's anonymous.
Who's tall? Man?
Anonymous? You mean ominous?
I always say anonymous now because when it's
Because
That's
when-
so bad. The tall man's really nice.
Layla once said it unironically. She's like, "What's with the anonymous music?"
You gotta be nice, brother. You better be nice.
All right, from Balios, The Dreams Again. Balios sat in his hospital bed, just staring at his ceiling, because what else would he really do? Light was probably being herself and not resting like usual. He decided he would probably sleep, since after all, he didn't have anything to read or mess with. So he closed his eyes and began drifting into a long slumber. But of course, that was ruined. The god of life was back, just like the first time he was in the hospital, though instead of the cottage and lake, it was a sunny place standing on a bridge next to a beautiful waterfall of gorgeous clear blue water. The edges of the bridge were just a drop that led into an endless white void. "What's with the change of style? I thought you liked the river," Balios said with the usual annoyed and dramatic tone, making him sound like a teenager. "The river was the last place Venos and I spent time together. I can't look at it the same anymore," Malice said. His voice carried a weight of dread. He was looking at the railing of the bridge before he looked up at the waterfall. It seemed as if the dream had shifted to Malice's feeling, the dread making the bridge crack, the sunny day turned into a red sky, the water turned red as if blood was mixing into it. I'm gonna sneeze. Just kidding, I'm not gonna sneeze.
Oh, did he say that?
Huh? No. No, sorry.
I was saying. I was joking.
Balios looked at Malice, his face shifting to worry and guilt. "I'm not supposed to be here, you know. The higher-ups will probably punish me. I might join Venos again," Malice said. Balios stood next to him. "I didn't mean to get him killed. If I had moved or actually fought, maybe..." He was interrupted by Malice's chuckle, short but no amusement. "I'm not here for any of your ifs, kid. He's gone. No matter what would have happened. He died because he revived you. It's divine punishment. We will all get the same since we helped you, so I'm going to help you again. Just go die again," Malice said as he looked down on him. "Why did y'all revive me? I know I wasn't liked by the others, especially after the corruption," Balios said as he looked at the waterfall. "Because we thought it was right. You may not have been well liked, but you were the only one to escape. We wanted you to have that chance of being alive," Malice said. "So I'm just supposed to live, knowing that my life is the reason the last people on my planet die. That's one hell of a way to live," Balios said with a scoff. I know, but you have Zephyr, so there's someone from the planet," Malice said with a slight chuckle. "Yes, the bird that wants to kill me because my father, who, by the way, I want dead, but the Vanishing got to him first, killed his family. Why would I want to deal with him?" "Because he knows what it's like to be betrayed, and be the only one left, just talk to him, get to know him. Maybe you both would get along." "No, I'm not doing that." "You are always stubborn. Just do it, you dumbass, before you die again." "Again? What do you mean again?" Balios was cut off by waking up in the hospital. His wounds were healed. He stood up from the bed and stretched his joints and bones, popping from not moving much. He then walked out of the room and the hospital and began walking back to the moon-touched kingdom. As he went through the woods, he heard a thud behind him, and as he turned, he saw Zephyr, who had just landed. "Not the bird freak." "Oh, please, you're more of a freak than me," Zephyr replied as Balios turned around and walked away, just wanting to get him instead of instead of getting into another fight at the hospital. After the hospital. Not the bird freak.
The one smart decision Belios could do. Walk away.
Yeah. Good job.
Thank
Oh my God.
goodness.
Finally, a good decision. Oh my god.
Finally.
From CJ, bonding in worried circumstances.
Decisions on Solace.
Yeah, there's never a good decision on Solace. I don't know what, this is like the first good decision.
Yeah. Much really else.
Alright, we got some Croy and Kron. Well, there is that then. Croy mumbled under his breath. The spider teddy in his hands passed back to Kron, who stuffed it relatively gently into their trench coat pocket with a huff. The breeze hit them both as they exited the lobby of the hospital. The cold of noon, a stark contrast to the stuffy, medicine stinking air in that building. Yeah. Sorry, I read that wrong. Whatever. I apologize, Kron. I just wanted to check if what I heard was true. Kron grumbled under their breath, obviously displeased with having to go to the hospital, even though they just got to wait in the lobby and watch a few scarabs run around. I like to imagine the hospital is just like swarming with scarabs. They're on the walls. They're like in the vents.
Yeah, that's pretty much
awful.
it.
They're in the walls. They're in the goddamn walls.
They are. They're everywhere. I would
They
hate to
are.
be in that hospital. They pushed their fringe to the side out of the way of the eye holes in their mask before tugging the shoulder pads of their coat, adjusting them. Their hair had grown a lot, gone a bit further past the shoulders by now. Planet people wait too long to jail. Their fault. Yeah, well, General Okel would have gotten out much easier if they got her into a cell, considering Violence got out, well, armless. Croy sighed, rubbing his temple, his other hand going to his hip. He gazed about the area, noticing the freshly put-up decorations. The Keepers of Solace had been setting up this winter ball. It was the most active he'd seen the faction be in a while. Oof. He doubts this productivity will last, however. He didn't really understand the need for the ball either. Sure, winter was a nice season, but wouldn't it put people at risk of attack? It's yet another armor-free event from his understanding. He shook his head, trying to push that worry away for now. He needed to focus on the current day. Croy turned to Kron, about to say something to them, only to see that they moved a few feet away, staring at a lamppost. Confused, the ghost made his way to their side with floaty steps, ears twitching softly. Then his gaze flickered to what Kron was staring at. Water's missing poster. The blind prophet hate misguide, Kron murmured, twiddling a loose button on their trench coat between their fingertips, their gaze on the poster never wavering. Do you think she made Mr. Tank missing 'cause of hate? Croy's shoulders sagged slightly as Kron's mask face turned towards him. Although he couldn't see their expression, he could feel that they were nervous. They knew how important Waters was to Light after all, and Light was important to them. Or Fury Mask? They escaped a few days ago, right? But they friends with Mr. Tank. They respect him. Not make sense. I do not think Okel would have done something. If she did, her targets would be more direct. Croy answered with a hint of deflation, gently placing an arm around Kron's shoulders, trying to comfort them at least a little. Violence? I would not be sure. I do not know the clown on an acquaintance level. A silence fell over them, the wind humming in the background, making a small shiver run up Kron's shoulders, which they ignored, while Croy remained unaffected. They both were gazing at the poster once more, Kron in particular reading and rereading the information. Croy, meanwhile, grew distracted, one of his ears twitching as he detected a sound. Tilting his head, his gaze flickered about, baubles dangling from trees, some having fallen, lights twinkling along the gutters of the buildings, the flowers of winter sprouting in the parks and rec garden, one he had wandered about a few times. Nothing seemed wrong. Maybe it would just... Wait. Can we go to SUNC? Miss Guide there, maybe. I want to check she's safe and help her. Kron asked, a new sense of determination arming their words, hands held in loose fists and shaking, stimming with the thought of their idea. Despite the anxious pit at the thought of going to the faction because of the last time they were there, hopefully nothing like that would happen again. Sure we can, but how about this first? Kron tilted their head a little in curiosity as the ghost came to stand in front of them, both his hands on their shoulders and his head leaning down to be level with their face. His next words were quieter, which instinctively made Kron respond in a similar way. Waters sometimes would be in this area. How about you check around for anything in the buildings about? I can go to Parks and Rec while you search one of the others. What if find something? If either of us find something, we take note of it and tell the other one once we are finished looking. And if anything goes wrong, which I doubt, just shout for me and I will hear. That sounds all right to you, bud. Kron let out a determined in response before pulling away, spinning on their heels and making their way towards the resources building, their footsteps quick with the task in mind. They were going to search every nook and cranny for clues. They'll be like that one detective in a book Croy told them about called Shamrock Holmes. As soon as Croy was sure Kron had gone inside the resources building, his guard slowly went up, ears perking again at footsteps. And sure enough, the face they saw peeking around the corner revealed the rest of their person, attention drawn to the direction Kron had gone in. It was a figure of a man, a red scarf wrapped loosely around his neck and draped over his shoulders. His clothes looked patchy, as if handmade, metal and mismatched fabric covering his trousers. His right arm appeared to be a prosthetic, being an odder shape than the other. His face was bearded, the right side greatly discolored as if it was dead and rotting. Croy didn't recognize the man, not one bit. Was this a new resident? Why would he be spying on Kron if that was the case? The last thing Solace needs is more stalkers and spies. Croy watched as the rotting man glanced about, taking a few more steps out, away from Parks and Rec, his attention seeming to always return to the resources building. He couldn't see the ghost, who had now moved up behind him, not very pleased. So, with a sigh, he focused, reaching into the stranger's mind. Do me one simple favor and draw him out again for me. Was that a woman's voice? It is really easy to fool you guys. I feel like this is going to suck. That sounded like Waters. Was this before he came to Solace? Why is there a big needle in his nose? I need fuel. Maybe they know where Arcturus is. Careful of cameras. She might be looking through them. Ah, he knew who this could be now. Croy reopened his eyes, his gaze readjusting to his surroundings and settling on the stranger once more, noticing that he had moved back into the doorway of the Parks and Rec Center, some sort of tablet in his hands while glancing occasionally to the other buildings. He hadn't noticed the ghost at all. So, Croy leaned over his shoulder from behind, skimming over the information on the tablet with a tilted head. That is handy. Holy! The stranger jumped, almost dropping the tablet. He took a couple steps back, staring at the rather deformed person that was Croy, as if trying to process their sudden appearance. Do you mind? Oh, I do apologize. I often forget how quiet I can be, Croy answered, tone light and friendly, standing up straight from his previous leaning position. His arms moved to fold behind his back, while taking a subtle note of the stranger's hand moving to the holstered gun on his trousers. The man would be wasting ammo if he were to fire, so the ghost just continued. I was only curious about what you were doing. Well, that's my business, not yours. If I wanted you in it, I'd be bringing it to the table and expecting cash. The stranger adjusted his gloves, his tone more indifferent now, shrugging his shoulders to adjust the scarf. He swiped a few things away off the tablet before shoving it into a bag he had slung over his shoulder, giving Croy a glimpse of the fuel can, most likely empty, already inside. Croy merely hummed in response, keeping up his act just as the stranger had turned to walk away and leave. He flowed up beside the other before speaking once more, a hint of curiosity inching its way through. You were watching that masked person a few minutes ago. You doing that does actually make it my business, considering that I am their guardian. The stranger paused, making Croy do the same, wondering what the other would do. But when there was no immediate response, Croy took a step further, moving around to stand in front of the man, but keeping a fair distance. Actually, now that I think about it, have we met before? I think I might have seen your face around at some point. We haven't. I'm pretty sure I would have remembered. This, if we did. The stranger emphasized that word, speaking very factually while doing a circular motion with his hand, mainly around the ghost's face. His actions were rude, yes, but it almost made Croy laugh. It was fair enough, but the other couldn't say much with his own face. And I was only seeing what your kid was doing. They're a strange person. The man cleared his throat, stepping to the side while eyeing Croy like a suspect, as if trying to confirm his own answer. Then he began speaking once more, going back to that indifferent tone. Nope, we definitely haven't met. Name's Craven. Croy was quiet for a beat, deer ears twitching slightly. Ah, I see. His tone had dampened down to one that was a little tenser, his hands moving to rest on his hips. My mistake. I will let you go now, but do be careful, Craven. His voice lowered, leaning forward to match Craven's height, a hint of emphasized sarcasm accompanying the name. Kidnappings have been quite common recently. With that, Croy let go, allowing himself to disappear from the other's senses just as Craven was about to respond, watching him look around in mild surprise and confusion. But Croy just gave him a hard look before making his way towards the resources building, only to see Kron bouncing out of the recycling station across the way. Not find Mr. Tank signs, but found White Rabbit. Kron bounced on their heels while gesturing to a white rabbit peeking out of the garage-like door, its little nose twitching and white fur a stark contrast to the station's duller colors. Croy laughed a little, his hand raising up to ruffle the top of his kin's head, leaving their hood slightly askew. I have not found anything either, but I do believe I have an idea. Croy's voice lowered while giving a quick glance over his shoulder, not seeing Craven nearby anymore. We need to go tell Light. Come on. I love Croy and Kron.
Yeah.
I hope nothing bad
Yeah.
happens to them.
It's
I hope
CJ
so
didn't
too.
expect that. I did not expect that.
Kennedys.
Yeah.
Nothing
Craven
bad
the
ever happens to
Hunter.
the Kennedys.
Uh, mainly from Comet's point of view. From Bagel.
Do you want me to read this one?
Yeah, you want to?
Comment. You ready?
What is
Sure.
this?
Ugh.
Oh, you're gonna love this, Freya. You're gonna
Oh.
love this.
You'll see.
Is this Gatsby?
No.
You'll see.
Yeah, it's
The spruce forest at the library was calm, the gentle sounds of the forest surrounding them. Comet was finally home, the ground beneath their feet, finally able to see again. Much blood had been spilt, and their axe was dirty. After the long and arduous journey, Comet was looking forward to the meticulous and meditative process. It would help them unwind. That was until they felt something. Comet tensed. Something was off. The air was electric. Something buzzed in the air, but they couldn't see. What was it? A twig snapped, and Comet swung. It was that box-headed figure. Comet had been acutely aware of it, always on the periphery of crowds. They had wrote it off as some odd residence of solace. The intruder's face was completely unreadable to them. But in that moment, as the
Artemis, thanks for
axe
following.
connected where the face would be with a sickening, shattering sound, Comet saw. An eye, all-seeing and all-knowing, peered into their soul. That eye was nothing like Comet had ever seen before. It didn't have a physical form. It was something much deeper, something that Comet struggled to describe. Just what the hell was this thing? And in the blink of an eye, Comet felt themselves stretch across time-space, twisting and turning, deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole. It was as if someone pulled the plug on a bathtub, and Comet was sucked down, down, down the drain. Twisting and turning through the deep emptiness and expansive space, they felt nothing and at the same time felt everything. And then in the next moment, and without warning, Comet stopped. Around them was bookshelves. They were all full to the brim, teeming with knowledge. These weren't the library's shelves. They turned around. More books. On and on and on. It was nothing but books. It extended into infinity, completely surrounded, drowning in books. Comet pulled one out. The spine crackled with age as they opened the cover. It was completely blank. They pulled out another one, also blank. Another, blank. The books were uniform and empty, rows and rows of nothing. Comet was just about to give up when they spotted something in the corner of their vision, something that stood out. One book was different from all the others. This one had a slightly purplish hue. They pulled it out, and then out of the corner of their eye, they saw another purple book. Then there was another, and so on. A trail of breadcrumbs leading them through the never-ending labyrinth. Comet followed the long and winding path for what seemed like forever, until they finally hit the center. There was a figure chained to the floor, his body in shades of purple, and around him were puppets. They were the puppets of Croy, Violence, Starry, Magos, Okul, and Comet. Dark hands were above them with gray strings pulling the puppets around. However, the strings of Comet's puppet were broken. The figure now finally notices Comet and turns to face them. His face was filled with scars that were once 3 eyes, but had been reduced to 1. Who are you? The figure sounded surprised. This reaction shocked Comet. They spent God knows how long walking through this labyrinth, but they will play along with this for now. I am Comet. Who are you and what is this place? Why are there puppets of people? I am a storyteller who has been forgotten for a long time. I was once called Gabriel. This place is a prison of my own making. As for these puppets, I believe even what I say cannot stop. Maybe I do not want it to ever stop. To even stop. I miss them. Gabriel had adjusted in his seating. Comet's hand had twisted into a fist. What plans are you talking about? What does this plan have to do with us? The prophecies, the plan, the goal that he wants to achieve. The prophecies that once guided my hand but were stolen showed me here. The plan was so long that I have even forgotten myself. The goal. Gatsby will not tell. I am truly sorry you ended up here. It is obviously wasn't by his design. I also see that you have found my story. Gabriel motioned to the purple books in Comet's possession. The books glowed and fused into one. How is this possible? Comet's grasp on the book slipped and it flew into Gabriel's hands. My head, mostly my rules. The pages once empty now began to fill with words and pictures. The whole room began to look more lively with color, as a crack formed on the black chains that held Great Gabriel. Comet had taken a look at the room, seeing all that was happening. The maze began to shake. Millions of books would fall from the dusty shelves. It seems we are out of time. I do hope we meet again. A purple flash hit Comet, and they found themselves lying on the ground, in the same spruce forest before all of this started.
What the fuck just happened?
Oh my god, finally I can talk about this. Oh my god, Bagel, again, this is for the bod mainly. Bagel, good job. It was so hard not talking about this because I read it the second you posted it. That's my input.
So I'm confused. What's with the puppets?
Do you remember who made deals with Gatsby?
Oh, I thought it was just Violence and Okul.
No?
Did Croy and Starry and Comet and Magos also?
I think Magos.
Well, Comet didn't, because Comet attacked Gatsby. He kind of canceled out that contract.
Oh.
Starry did make
Also,
a deal with
Gatsby, like, Comet fucking took a swung at Gatsby, and Gatsby decided, fuck that, and made Comet see for the first time.
That's crazy.
They're like 1,000 years old. They have never, like, seen in the way that humans see, and they're having, like, an existential crisis. So welcome to Cosmic Horror.
This
oh
is
my god, you guys could hear my
so good.
I'm so sorry.
I know. I got approached by Bagel, and he was like, "Yo, do you want a Gatsby interaction with Comet?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Why? Like, what the hell? Why not?" And I thought it was gonna be a funny, silly little thing where Comet was the straight man and Gatsby was being silly or whatever. But then he just proceeds to describe this, and I felt like that one gif from Ratatouille.
Dude, it's not often that I am like so pulled, like sucked in by something I read on Lore Tuesday, but this is really good. This had me on the edge of my seat the whole time.
Yeah, good job, Bagel.
Yeah, I kept on tabbing back. I paused because I kept on tabbing back to your stream, and your face, you were so concerned.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Oh my god. This deserves a pin,
And guess
honestly.
so. I guess Comet is like one of the first, if not the first person, one of the first people on the SMP to actually meet Gabriel, like Gabriel himself.
Yeah.
Oh,
Interesting.
Because everyone has interacted with Gatsby, but not everyone,
Yeah.
like barely anybody, if any at all, have interacted. Which, R.I.P. Gabriel, I think you would have gotten along decently with Comet, I think, if things had been different, but...
yeah.
All right.
Anyways,
That was really cool.
I'm freezing my butt off, so I'm gonna head off for the night
Okay.
and go have some hot chocolate. But
Do that.
Good night.
I want
Good
hot
night,
chocolate.
comment.
this is
Virgil,
Good
if you
night,
can hear
Thomas.
me,
good night.
Virgil, if you can hear me, bring me hot chocolate, please.
Isn't
All right.
he on the other side of the room?
I'll go bring him.
No, we're in separate
Oh,
rooms,
no.
kind of. It's like we're in a basement, but it's like divided.
All right, 1 second.
Oh,
Um,
but still, wouldn't he realistically be able to hear you?
no, his headphones are. I've never seen such like noise canceling headphones in my life. I can yell behind him; he won't hear me.
I
Scare his
hear
ass.
talking. I hear talking whenever I'm talking with Virgil on BC.
Yeah. I don't know if he watches my streams anymore, but I think he's in VC with other people, so he will not be able to hear.
Good boyfriend would watch your streams, but he's probably playing Warframe right now.
I actually
Hold on, let
told
me
him
go
to
check.
stop subscribing to my channel because it's literally just it's like paying $3 to Amazon and I get 2. And like, why would you pay for like I live here and I why would you
If you make him a VIP, then it's basically all the perks of being a sub without like
Oh
he
really?
doesn't have to watch ads if he's a VIP. I think.
I didn't know that.
I think that's what VIP status is for.
Oh yeah, Brett, be scared. I'm cooking up something. I just realized I have.
Be
to finish
scared.
cooking it.
Oh no. That is never a good phrase.
Just redirected me like 3 different things. VIP. Chat without being affected by slow sub only or followers only. Chat without being affected by rate limits. Post links in chat even when links are disabled. I don't think it gets rid of ads though.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Even if you're a moderator, it doesn't get rid of ads, which I think is stupid.
I know. That's really lame.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not like I wouldn't like keep subbing, but still.
Yeah. All right, this is Bob. Bob's gift basket. I just
Oh,
finished.
can I read this one?
Sure, go ahead.
Oh my god, this I was very excited for this one. Hold on.
Okay.
It's fun. No, I went to the home screen.
Trouble. You're watching on your TV. Someone one time was watching my stream on their TV in like their living room, and their family was like kind of watching it too, and I was like, this is so. If it like for some reason hearing that made me like feel like I was being watched in the middle of someone's living room, like directly. It was so weird.
Alright. To be fair, my little brother sees you. He would never put you on my phone. Stream on a phone. Anyways, alright.
Hi, Mika's little brother.
No, he's showering right now. Not
Oh.
right now, but I'll make sure. I'll make sure he knows to say hi. I had just finished building my cabin. It was nice, quiet and quaint, exactly how I liked it. I set up a nice little office for me to work in. Apparently, the new library didn't have offices, at least not yet. So I would have to work here. It's a good thing I got this set up so quickly. I had so much information to read through. I need to get started as soon as possible. Comet didn't even know about 1/10 of the planets I had visited. Most of them weren't interesting, so I just took all of the information I could and stored it for a later date. Well, the later date just caught up with me, so it was time to start reading. As I sat down to begin learning about the planet Ecodon, I heard a knock at the door. I told Comet they could come in whenever they wanted, but they still may not want to feel like they're intruding. It doesn't bother me too much. I'm just happy to talk to a friend. As I open the door, I am not met with the warden I expected to see. In fact, my eyes had to go down substantially from where I expected to look at, as I finally get a look at the person who knocked on my door. I don't recognize them at first. I look behind them, and I do see a familiar face.
Oh.
I see Dante standing slightly behind the woman who originally knocked. At first, I am still confused about who she is, but then I slowly start to recognize her. She was at that trial. She was a prosecutor. She was fighting to put away the clown who caused Comet's stabbing. I decided that since she was both a friend of Dante and a defender of Comet, she could be trusted. I can read. I start off the conversation by saying hello and asking if I can help them. She excitedly says her name is Mira and that I probably already know her fiance Dante, as she points to the man behind her. I nod in agreement and tell her it's a pleasure to meet her and my name is Bob. I extend my hand out to shake hers. She reaches out and grabs mine. I flinch ever so slightly as I feel metal touch my hands. I look down to realize her hand is still prosthetic. I see Dante wince ever so slightly behind her as he sees this. Oh no, she seemed not to take offense, but her mood definitely darkened ever so slightly. She pauses for a few seconds before raising her basket, and all her bubbly energy comes rushing back in. Then she says Dante told her about the mission to save me and that I was a good friend of Comet's. She then says that she knows it can be hard to get reintroduced somewhere, so to help, she brought me a basket of fruits. She says it's a welcome basket, or more of a welcome back basket. I thank her profusely and say
You
I love
made
fruits.
me hot chocolate?
Yes, I did. So you asked for it.
How did you hear
Oh.
me?
Yeah, you
What?
told me. Comet told me.
Comet. Oh, that's so cute.
Thank you.
Oh man, I'm so jealous now. Freya, can you send the hot chocolate to Texas?
I am manifesting hot chocolate for you right now.
Thank you.
Alright, sorry, continue.
That's
It's
awesome.
good. It's good. No, this hot chocolate it takes priority. Where was I? Mentioned that I go friend of Comets. She then says, okay, back basket. I thank her profusely and say I love fruits. I then tell her that there are some grape berries up on the hill if she wants to grab any of those. Her face lit up and she said that she saw them on the way here, but she didn't know if I was gonna eat them later. I told them they are all hers. As Mary starts heading uphill, I grab Dante's arm. He looks startled for a second, but I ask if I can talk with him. He says he doesn't want to leave Mira alone in the woods as he tries pulling away. My grip stays strong and I point up the hill, saying she will be right up there, always in view. He gives in, realizing he won't break my grip, and asks me about what this is about. A suspicious look on his face the whole time. I tell him I couldn't talk about this with Mira. She has this innocent radius that I can't break. This topic is too dark. I don't want to see her smile fade. I can tell Dante can handle this though. I tell him that I'm very sorry that Mira has lost an arm and that I know the pain. I tell him that I would have offered to improve the machinery, but it already seems very advanced. I tell him that if there's anything I can do to help, he should just ask. He gives me this serious look for a few seconds before sighing and saying that he just wants her real arm back. He wants her arm, not some fake cold metal replacement. I then look at him for a few seconds, feeling his pain. He feels like he lost a part of I can read. He lost part of the one he loves. I can understand this to some extent. I look up at the woman picking berries with one hand, smiling from ear to ear. All I can feel from her is kindness. I want her to be happy to be whole. I look at Dante and lower my voice to a whisper, ensuring no one else will hear what I'm saying. I tell him that I'm working on a way to regrow limbs, and that if I find any breakthrough, I will tell him. I'll tell him that I am only telling him this because I owe him for coming to save me. I also say that the method, if it exists, will most likely be extremely costly. He looks back at me, and I see something in his eyes that was missing this whole time. Hope. He thanks me over and over again and says he will do anything, even lay down his own life to make her whole again. I tell him good, because that may just be what it costs. The couple leaves and I go back to my desk. I sit down, slumped to my chair. I had not realized how much pain this planet truly was hiding. I respect Dante. He's like me. He will do anything to get back what he loves. And we got it. What do we
Oh.
think, chat?
My heart hurts.
I was muted, Mika. That better
Yeah.
not be foreshadowing, Mika. That better
No.
not be foreshadowing, Mika.
I do not know what you're talking about.
Mm.
Mika, do you like being a lore
Yeah,
helper? I mean, a
certainly.
moderator.
Yeah.
Do you like being a moderator?
Yeah, I do.
You know, there's something. There's a mutual. You know, you like being a moderator. You don't want to lose something that you love. I also don't.
You're really fumbling the.
I don't know if I'm like Mika. You like being a moderator. I like Dante and Mira being happy. Let's continue this.
Gosh,
Them being
what's with all
happy.
this? This all this angst, bro. This is all so lame. Angst is for kids who were missing something back in middle school.
You sounded just like Ross when you said, "What's with all this angst, man?"
Oh yeah, by the way, do not worry about it, chat. Do not worry about it.
Yeah, right. Because those words are said before. Yeah.
I do not know what you guys are talking about.
All right. Sorry.
Waters.
Waters.
Mm.
Mm.
Oh, my mouth is full. I'm sorry. I'm eating a burrito right now. I would like to read this.
You want to read this? Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm
Content
making
warning
my
for
pizza
blood,
real quick.
graphic description of violence.
Yeah, because this is the cool one.
The cool one. I totally want to angst, but it's not up to me. I have to follow the character. Oh, I totally want to not angst, but it's not up to me. I have to follow the character accurately.
I mean,
You
yeah,
and Virgil are the same way. Dude, he's making me write music for something right now that's for like way later in the campaign that I'm agonizing over. I can't tell anyone about it.
I have to scroll up. I've been writing so much that I just haven't been following in chat.
I will have happy J Schlatt Christmas music over the burning building. Everyone will be jolly. Oh, by the way, if anyone has a like replay mod or something file, drop that in like Lorem or something, because I'm sure everyone would love to have that. Also, I totally need like a.
I would. But
I got the
the game entirely.
You got the what? Never mind.
Okay.
Also, I realized that my recording quality is really low because I had to record something low quality once, and now the bitrate is so low that everything is really bad. So
Dude,
I think the whole ball's
on the
probably for
first
this.
day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 12 pixels.
It's true. My streaming bitrate is like 6,000. My recording was like 1,500.
Oh.
Oh.
It's a video at 144p. That's
Yeah,
that's the first thing.
Exactly.
Also
Exactly.
got
Video at
neon
144p.
Someone got neon cat.
Hold up.
Okay. I think
Oh,
Ready?
yeah. Anonymous. note?
one
Okay.
water. Voting for Kellaren 15. I'm not gonna about that pronunciation. Cold. That is the first sensation Waters snaps to, the slow rise his body and mind takes to consciousness. Not a thought of where he is or what state he's in, just that he feels cold. Waters hates the cold. It is the very sensation that is entirely unnatural and often even a deterrent for a specific species of Dorsi. He would never willingly put himself in a position that would have him feel and be in the cold. The next sensation, is the pain. Instinctively, he pulls himself into a tight ball, one hand digging through his clothes into the flesh of the right arm, sting of blood, quick spreading heat of fresh, smell of something burning. There is one thing of many that the man never mentioned to anyone. The gloves he wears are a modified piece of technology. For the most part, they add ease to his remote access of Syros, creating portable keyboards and the mechanical memory press of his fingers to open air. On the other part, they act as a last-minute self-defense structure. Through the use of a toggleable plasma claw system, the system activated the same adrenaline spike that hit him when the pain did. Claws are now burning into his flesh. Yet, The small spike of a burn is nothing compared to the pain that racks the whole body. A pain that pulls cells apart rapidly and remends them in the same instant. Cracks and restores the bones throughout his entire body. The very feeling you would get when your body is attacking itself at a rapid, repetitive, and unrelenting pace. There's just a haze. Within the haze of pain, there's a feeling of a hand combing through his hair. It's enough to make him realize that he is without his helmet. He is without the significant contact of water. He is in this pain because of someone who knew this would happen to him if he broke the order of the genetics program. If it means anything at this point, I didn't want to have to do this to you, Elia starts to say, her nails massaging his scalp as if they don't mentally burn him further. But you do know the risks of repeated chemical inducements. An easy paralysis solution used too many times over could risk you greater side effects. Waters chokes in his 2 heavy breaths of pure oxygen as he tries to focus on her words. Every signal in his body screams at him. He can't move. He can barely even think. And I need you in perfect condition. There's something guttural within him, a sickening feeling. A rising anger, like magma stuck to a... What? Like magma to a geyser. He can't understand it. He can't think through this. He can't fight. He's stuck. She's right there, and he can't... Was that a growl? Did you just growl at me? His hand retracts, and any sense... Oh, the hand retracts, and any sense of an anchor for the pain vanishes with it. Processing for words is more difficult, more faint. He thinks she said something, or maybe she laughed. It's hard to tell. He digs the claws down in his arm. The flesh doesn't mend as quick. It's the new anchor. Even with it, he barely makes out her next words. Oh my seas, that's hilarious! I guess you must have picked up more from that feral daughter of yours than I thought. Light. Oh, seas, Light. Where is she? What has Elia done to her? She can't hear. She can't. Nails in his hair. A grip. A pull. He finally strains his eyes open now that his head has been forced into a new position to stare sidelong at Elia as best as he can. The intent is to show his anger, to speak in ways his mouth physically is incapable of in the moment as he struggles to breathe in the air around him. It just comes off as a pained squint. Elia smiles at him, tilting her head as she brings up a finger to her lips. She's wearing his jacket over her dress. Why is she wearing his jacket? Hey, shh. They'll all be here soon. Waters knocks his head back to pull from her grasp and knocks his head against something hard, metallic. Her expression twists to amusement for a second before pulling in a pretend worry as she awes at him like he's an infant. He shuts his eyes again. There's a feeling of her nails trailing up either side of his torso to his shoulders, and then the sound of something sliding out of gaps behind him. Pulls over either side of him and comes together at his midsection with a resounding click. It only processes to him that it's a safety harness when she gives it a tertiary tug, and it clicks twice in response, not budging. I know they'll try some sort of rescue on you. I made sure they could find us here, left a little bread trail. Elia spoke as she worked on buckling him in. Her hands finally leave him again. She leaves him again. It takes considerable effort to strain himself like he did to open his eyes. He needs to hear. Even if he can't do anything, he needs to know what is going to happen, what she is planning, where he is. He can't tell everything about the environment they're in. There's no active sounds of the ocean like there at the facility, no chirping of insects like there at the Keepers of Solace, though he can hear the clanking of her heels against the floors in wherever they are. It echoes onto the walls that try to dull the noise. The sound doesn't even fully stop where she stops moving, resounds, even with her tapping something out on some sort of device. Then there's a hissing and metallic whir of something in motion. I'll need them all dead if I can be sure that I can get away from this planet without a soul left behind to hunt for you or me. The words are faint to him but process rapidly. He pulls in a breath and chokes it back out. He tries to say something, anything, but all he gets out is Leah! Before he hears a dull bang that reverberates through the cabin, in a shuttle she had somehow found and made operational, because that's what she means by get away from this planet. She's going to take him back to, or that's what she means by get away from this planet. She's going to take him back to the Dorsa command. Elia, oblivious to his mental puzzle, spikes through the silence and calls out to him to say, and when they do, I need you to be quiet. Quiet. It feels like the word hums through his blood, because he knows it does. He feels the glow beneath the skin of the arm he tears. Climbs up his arm like the binding of a snake. Constricting around its prey, it moves, as if alive, to spread from up his arm to around his throat. That he is sworn to silence for whatever duration she specified. A statement from her that he never heard spoken aloud. I'll see you again very soon, beautiful. Elia's voice calls to him from a distance, echoes, and repeats in his mind. Then she's walking again, and she's gone. He's alone again, with only the agonizing pain to keep him company. So he lets it take him into his haze, so that at least he isn't forced to keep suffering the strain of staying present. And that was just the before part.
Oh, damn.
Your Honor, I can fix her.
No,
Yes, I can.
no, me
I'm,
You
I'm
can't
making
fix it.
the hand over the neck motion, like not.
no.
That's why I have the. That's why I have
No,
the.
you
That's why the
No.
cat meme is like
You
Freya
cannot
holding me
fix
back.
it, Mika.
The gif of Vince McMahon or whatever doing the thing. Okay. Trial by
No.
water. Footsteps, several sets. A group of people all maneuvering through the swamp. Some traveled to this location together. Others got the notification and came in on their own. Whatever means in which they made it here, they arrived in time with each other. Their footsteps come to a stop as one views another across the. The shuttle stands before them, practically stares out towards them. It's an ominous view. It sits against a bed of obsidian, surrounded in it on all sides but the top. Against the backdrop of night, it shines and reflects, a jagged mess of rock hues like an oil spill. It has clearly been torn apart. It has clearly been broken open. Some of them know exactly by whom. I don't like this. Cam is the first to break the silence, turning his attention to the group as
Wow,
he
you
speaks.
sound just like him.
I know, right? He's the pinnacle of my voice acting career. This feels too easy. Light worries the daggers strapped beneath her sleeves. Emotion as if she's prepared to sling them at even the slightest movement, noticed either within the trees or around them or the shuttle they have come upon. It's a valid concern. It's been days since her dad has gone missing, nearing a week. Any information that can get her closer to finding him, even if it is a trap, is something she will take. Plus, Sarah said she'd be here. We knew that coming into this. Light speaks, but her eyes drift over to Kron. She's worried, of course. She's worried. Of course she's worried. I know, but we need a... Why would it be a bad thing if she was here? I mean, I kind of want to beat her ass for what she did to Frog. Feather interjects, arms crossed over her chest. Feather, Croy mutters in the reprimand in a tired tone, though his eyes stay on the shuttle as if he could peer through the metal casing of the thing to see exactly what they're dealing with on the inside. What? It's not like we're all not thinking about it, Feather adds, loosing an arm from her bind to gesture it towards the shuttle with a sharp intensity. Then she sighs and drops her arms in a resting position with one arm braced atop the hilt of the sword dangling from her hand. I mean, I'll follow your lead, but you know how I feel about this. Feather, Croy repeats, cutting the conversation to a close in a second. Attention turns to the faintly visible ghost as he stands in front of Kron. Protective stance. But he's not looking at Feather. He's still looking towards the shuttle. Then there's the wave of realization. All eyes turn to where the ghost looks. Each perspective prevents a different visual, like a different person. Different physical shape, different gender, different height, different age. All of the visuals of the people unfamiliar to any one of them. None of them see the same figure standing before them, but it stands in the same location and it speaks the same words. No, by all means, carry on. I'd love to hear all about how you'd beat my ass. Words spoken in an echoed tone that carry the weight of multiple pitches, vocal ranges. A sword is drawn. In the same instance, a dagger flies, but it meets nothing but the ground beneath Elia's feet. It clings off the obsidian layer, with a rattling chime. Elia stepped back from where she was before, watching it slide away. Harmlessly. Okay. Cam stays within the lull of silence that grows between the ringing. So, no plan. Got it. It took no time for the group to fall into an unplanned, uncoordinated formation. Light and Croy both holding to a defensive position in front of Kran, themselves holding a bow and arrow, quickly notching an arrow from quiver on their hip in order to match the others. Feather has moved forward in front of the group a little more, the heavy sword near to drag the mud from beneath them, if not for the hold she maintains. Ready to rush forward and swing. Everyone prepared for a fight. Everyone except for Cameron. Look, he starts, stepping forward with a hand held up. We just want to talk. Talk? Light jumps in to say, interrupting him from the sheer surprise of hearing those words. Why does everyone keep interrupting me today? Cam mutters out, instead of completing his statement, throwing his arms up in a momentary frustration. You invited me because you needed my help, right? Let me help. He hammers the words in with a level of confidence that removes argument. In return, Light goes quiet. Her eyes shoot between him and the version of Elia she sees beyond him. Then her ears droop and she growls something out under her breath. She relents to his advice, straightening her stance but not losing her readiness. That is, until Elia starts laughing across the clearing from them. Slow to start, loud to end, her body bending forward as it racks through her. It raises the hackles on Light's back. It adds fire to the flames of Feather's anger. It adds confusion to the brow of Cameron, who's never yet experienced the maniac woman firsthand. Can I shoot now? Kran leans forward to whisper. The arrow is notched. The aim is past the shoulders of the two guards. For some, the height the arrow is aimed to is off. For others, it is dead on. Kran, the aim is straight for the head, between the eyes. The laughter falls to a close as Elia shakes her head, as Croy was just about to answer. What a pleasure to have such an interesting goodbye party, Elia states out to the open air, not talking to any of them but. Suddenly, she drags her hand up through the air. For a moment, the water even around them in the swamp rises slowly like gravity is reversing. When her hand reaches the highest point in the sky, the water starts to pull from itself, floats suspended like a lava. Then a blade forms in her hand, and all the water around drops simultaneously in a snap, a ripple. Follows the motion of her arm pulling down through the air, of a vertical tsunami, rushing towards them. Light is quick to move, pulling Kran out of the way as the slash heads towards their cluster. While Croy holds back the attack, the arrow, almost forgotten, flies, whizzing past Cam. Whoa! Somehow meeting its intended target with a trail of blood tracing down the side of Elia's face. Not that any of them immediately notice that, aside from Kran, of course. It's Feather who rushes forward, first with a shout. She wasn't close enough to the direction of Elia's attack to be stumbled by it. She raises her sword high and to the left and pulls down at a diagonal slash across Elia's chest, but her blade meets another before it makes it to the shoulder, Elia holding her off with her own watery blade, a malicious grin on her many faces. As that is happening, Light is checking Kran for any injuries while Kran is pointing in the direction of Elia. Hit! A tone of excitement. Croy moves closer to them, juggling his attention between the two of them and their adversary. What do you want us to do? He asks Light, as she is the one this whole situation impacts the most, as it should be her decision, her call. Light glares daggers across the muddy terrain, across the obsidian sea. She watches the way Elia plays with the battlefield, kicking Feather away from their standoff to slice the air towards her neck. Her sword gets blocked by Feather's. It feels like the very impacts between two opposite elements, an ever-burning eternal flame and the sheer force of torrential rain. Clangs of metal and steel on something like ice, crackling like dull thunder, a battle, or a force of nature. Distract her, Light resolves to say quietly, finally pulling her attention away from the scene. Then her hands pull through the air in the weavings of a spell. Cam looks over in time to see the motions as he thinks, and tries to figure out what is going on. It's the same instance that Croy nods firmly and disappears from view. Hints of reappearances arrive through a surprised shout coming from the direction of Elia. She jumps back from Feather, clutching her side as it bleeds. Feather's blade is not stained crimson. Meanwhile, Light suddenly stands, pulling the hairpin from her hair as it expands into the full wielded length of a sword. When she rushes forward, he watches, temporarily holding up the rear with Kran as they take the opportunity of not being worried over to notch another arrow. All right, I can work with that, he says, as if to himself. With quick strides, he moves deeper into the battlefield, undaunted by the clash of blades, of mud and blood. There's a rush of water as Feather is pushed back. She spits out the muddy water, brushes it off her face, and grits her teeth as she watches Light take up the position she was forcibly removed from. She twists her blade, and her eyes follow the movements of Elia, intensely, tracking where she falls back, and brings up a wave. There's an opening. It's when Feather is about to rush in to attack again that she gets stopped by the hand on her shoulder. Cam's hand. Ah! When did you... Gun. Feather pauses. She lowers the tip of her greatsword from the aggressive stance to point towards the mud as she stares at him as if processing something she heard from him correctly. Or she stares at him as if processing if she heard him correctly or if he's going to elaborate. But he doesn't. What? Feather asks, her eyes darting to the conflict as Light gets pushed back by a wave of water and Ellie gets stuck by an invisible knife. Dodges a volley of arrows. Definitely mid-action to just, "Can I borrow your gun?" Cam repeats, also watching the conflict while still not occurring not too far from them. They're close enough that the mist from their attacks still makes its way towards them. There's a silence beyond the strikes of swords, impacting, and laughter. Within that silence, Feather removes one hand from the hold of her sword to unbuckle a pouch and wordlessly hands Cam a handgun she brought with her for this mission. "Why didn't you bring any weapons?" she asks, pulling her stance back into order as her eyes track Ellie again to find that opening she lost. Okay. Cam sighs loudly in the middle of checking the chamber and reloading the cartridge. "I did, but I realize electricity here might be a massive issue." If the expression on Feather's face is anything to go off of, she definitely agrees to that assessment. He can even see the moment she considers the dangers of it, just by the way her eyes scan the various puddles of water within the mud around them. She doesn't hesitate to hand him the rest of the extra ammo she brought with her. That's enough talking for her, though. She sees the opening again. It's a moment where Elia puts a leg back to brace herself in blocking Light's blade, and how her other hand leaves the blade to pull back up from the ground, towards her, towards them. Feather rushes in to join the battle. She ducks a splash of water from Elia as she gets nearer and goes slow to try and slash at Elia's legs. Yet Elia proves herself to be quicker as she brings her own blade down, hitting the pommel of it hard onto the top of Feather's head, knocking her down and forcing the trajectory of her blade to lodge into the mud. Light twirls her blade and moves back to add momentum as she slashes horizontally across Elia's chest, pushing her to take a few steps back, and she leaves her body to make each attack just near misses, as if she's allergic to the very idea of Light getting a single hit on her. It is unavoidable, though, as a shot suddenly rings out across the battlefield, impacting into Elia's sword arm and causing her to falter enough for Light to dig her blade across flesh, draw blood. "You!" Elia draws out as she stares as she stares down at the slash on her chest with anger, even as it quickly stitches back together, like as if it was never there to begin with. She lifts a muddy heel and slams it into Light's chest to shove her back away as she searches the field for the direction of the gunshot. That's when she sees Cam, staring her dead on with the gun still raised for another shot. Somehow that view is very, very familiar to her. With a smile rising to her expression, she pulls her sword up through the air and brings it down in an arc towards him, but he sees it coming and lowers the gun enough to activate his mobility boots to shoot him quickly to the side. He angles himself behind the sword fighters, giving a barrier for himself. She can't swing her sword at him if her sword is occupied, which it quickly becomes. Feather, quick to recover, rips her sword up from the ground, but disregards it for a second to raise a fist and swing it dead center of Elia's chest. It causes the other woman to stumble back, mostly with surprise. Laughter buds in her chest when Feather rises to meet her, pulling her sword up high into a heavy swing using the weight of the blade to pick up momentum and something more lethal to the strike. And add something more lethal to the strike. Though Elia tries to block it, her Ocean Forge blade fails a little. It drops the guard lower than she intended. So she does the unordinary thing and drops the blade into a rain, letting the greatsword dig into her shoulder. There, she grabs it, holding it, and Feather still, even against resistance, as she reforms her own blade to stab into Feather's side. There's a pained call, but it's like the pain only makes her stronger, because she's able to pull her sword out of Elia's grasp. It drags through Elia's shoulder, mars itself with blood, but Elia's still smiling. It's infuriating. This whole time, Elia is fighting off the simultaneous attacks of Light and Feather, and Croy comes around and kicks at the back of her legs. In the same moment, the Cam fires another shot towards her. That hits, But Elia, healing quickly, can't help but laugh. She pushes Light back with a rush of water pulled from the surrounding terrain. She pushes Light back with a rush of water pulled from the surrounding terrain. It blocks Feather's sword. It's fun. It's actually fun. Yet also, something doesn't feel right. Elia can't quite put her finger on it. Don't get her wrong, she's having a lot of fun bouncing attacks off all these people at once. It's thrilling. Reminds her a lot of the good old days. But something is wrong. Is it the ghost that she still can't pin down the location of? Claim not a soldier who acts like the man she knows all too well? The hunter she's never met before who wants her dead? No. It's the daughter. Enough! Elia releases her sword to droplets and instead pulls all the water from the ground around them up to slam it down, pushing everyone back by the rushing force of the water pooling out in an instant. Now what? What? Oh, sorry. How? What? She could do that this whole time? Feather says as she pulls herself out of the mud and onto her feet, waving her sword toward Elia like a glorified pointer. She still hasn't seemed to notice the blood trailing down her face. Not too far from her, Cam lays in the mud with the back of his eyes lost up in the stars and the night sky, taking a moment to catch his breath and really think about what he's got himself into. Eventually, he settles into it with a long sigh before pushing himself up and shaking the mud off his stabilizers. Apparently so, he says simply in a dry tone. Is this even going well so far? Do you know? It's around this time that Croy makes himself known again by Cam's side. Helping to pull him up out of the mud. It seems as if he's the person Cam is asking the questions to. Croy takes a moment to consider it before looking to Light and simply nodding. I believe it is going well, yes. Croy responds, watching as Cran jogs over to join them with a lot less arrows than they had before. Did see? More hits? Cran starts to say, only to be interrupted by the sudden sound of Elia laughing. That! Elia calls out across clearing, finally taking the steps out of the obsidian area she had previously been maintaining ground on. Going well. Yeah, you say that. Are you referring to the little intrusion on the shuttle? She attempts to drag my partner from the arms of his freedom. What? Feather says, looking between her and the others, because she wasn't near them when the magic thing happened. Am I supposed to understand what any of that means? Croy tenses up, watching more closely at the slow and methodical pace Elia walks back and forth, flicking her sword in and out of manifestation. It's as if she's taunting any of them to try her, letting her rage pour out of her so visibly that it rings like alarm bells, daring someone to try. But if she knows, then somebody has to get to Light and warn her, and Croy knows that Elia can't find him easily. So, quick decision made, Croy lets himself vanish from view again, but... No! Elia shouts the second she sees him disappear. Her pale eyes scan the area he just vanished from, obviously not seeing him. She does see Cran with an arrow notched, then string snapping loose from their fingertips and flying the arrow towards her. In a quick motion, she flicks a bead of water off the flat of her blade towards the arrow, catching it in place. Then it spins as she sends it directly back to its source. It sinks into Cran's chest, and the shout they let out as they drop their bow hits the ears of everyone around. Cran! Croy shouts, briefly flickering into visibility. Cam, being closest, is quick to drop everything and check on the kid, while Feather, seeing it's going to be taken care of, takes the opportunity to immediately rush Elia again with a heavy swing, but Elia dodges it. Deep within the obsidian encasement, Light, the true one, stands. She had just finished moving Waters out of the shuttle, and she knew that something was missing, but Cran was on the ground. Elia! She shouts out in an attempt to draw her attention. With a snap, she removes the spellcast copy of herself from the battlefield as she rushes towards Elia from behind. She pulls her knight bracelet out into a scythe. Through some kind of perfect coincidence, the same moment she jumps to slice down on Elia, so does Croy reappear, having picked up one of Light's daggers to plunge it towards Elia's chest. Both strikes hit, vitally so. The scythe cuts into her deep, pulling apart the vision and mirage of her disguise to break and shatter the image, splitting in the visual of a woman with mahogany skin and blue-gold hair to everyone. The dagger sinks into her chest like it's quicksand, but Croy pulls it free after some effort. Light drops back and stares at Elia, bits of what she actually looks like for the first time. Even though the visual bleeds and morphs like a reflection in a fountain, it slowly pulls itself back together as she clutches her hands between her head and her heart. 2 lethal hits, and she's bleeding. but still standing from them. Seriously, that didn't work. Cam stands bewildered, a moment of consideration passing his expression before he focuses back on first aid. We need to get this kid to the hospital, so wherever you're gonna do it now. Elia stares at him. Corey backs up silently and then completely splits off from Elia to go to Kran's side, seeing priority in being by his son. Feather slides in the way of where he once was to block Elia from following or attacking while his back is turned. She wants to rush in, to plunge her sword in Elia's chest, but she can't act out now and leave her friends without defense. It's like, in that moment, that something snaps within Elia. She laughs, a short, dry thing, different from her manic and boisterous laughs of before. She stands still. She tilts her head to the sky, shaking her head. What the fuck is wrong with you people? You know this is Waters for only, what, a couple months, and you treat it like you'll die to protect him? She speaks quietly, lowering her face as the mirage bleeds more of her actual self into view. There's a fire, a rage into her pure golden eyes. Well, fine. If you want to die, then die. All of you. There's a bag on her back. How long has there been a bag on their back? That wasn't there before. Elia reaches into the bag, pulling out a green bubbling mixture. It looks like... Light reacts quickly, slashing the straps of the bag with her scythe so that it drops, but she's not quite quick enough to stop Elia completely. Elia slams the glass in her hand down to the ground hard before any further assessment can be made on what it is. Corey is quick to think, quick to move, shielding Kran and Cam simultaneously. Light and Feather, however, are close enough to feel the corrosive acid as it explodes into the ground around them, onto everything. It burns. It turns water into a smokescreen. Feather drops, shouting from the pain. Light fights through the pain to focus her eyes onto the smoke. She needs to see Elia, stop her, grab her, something. She can't get away. She can't after what she... It's too late. Elia is gone. Light realizes immediately, pulling herself back and getting to Feather's side to get her away from the acid. There's no figure standing in the smoke. There's barely any water left in the spot she was. She got away. Again. But she left her bag behind, and Waters is free. That's enough, at least. Enough for Light to let the weathering of the days pardon me. At least enough for Light to let the weathering days of searching and the fight itself take her out. As she falls unconscious into the mud next to Kran, healing spell already cast from her palm. Okay, that's it.
Absolute cinema.
Like,
I love how you voice
Water
everyone.
moment.
Ah!
Hey,
Ah!
freaking-
what's up, guys?
yeah, Freya, do you like the random jump scare?
You can't get me.
I can.
Yeah. Whatever you say.
Oh, so when did you get here?
I've been here.
Oh,
Just
interesting.
my icon didn't pop up.
Yeah, because it doesn't do it automatically anymore.
This one.
All right. We're almost at 2 hours. Once we hit 2 hours... Well, actually, we'll go up to December 6th. Got 3 more things. And then I'll probably also stream tomorrow. And then Thursday will be the winter ball stuff. So people have some time to write. I would stream Friday, but I work until 9. So... I might work until 9, who knows. Alright, getting Waters back. This will mention blood and violence. You've been warned. This place takes during the second tab of the dock above during the fight. Sneaking
I love
aboard.
that everything mentions me.
Yeah, everything. Brief mentions of violence.
Trigger warning! This guy!
Yeah, you need a content
I'm such a
warning.
universal. I
It's
just
like-
have such a universal name. It's insane.
Good job, Myth, by the way, for writing all of that. That was great. I love seeing group stuff like that.
Yep.
And I like that it was all from one perspective, basically. Yeah, I guess this is like after what happened, so or during. Anyway. Light listened to the fight from her hiding place, praying her illusion wasn't found out right away. She took a deep breath and casted an invisibility spell over herself. She used her magic to glide to the shuttle behind everyone, taking care not to leave any evidence. She wasn't about to make it easy for Elia to know that she wasn't truly a part of the fighting. Slowly, she eased the door open and slipped inside, releasing the gliding spell in the process. Light walked, looking around the shuttle. She froze for a moment, her face visibly paling when she saw Waters. He had been strapped to one of the front seats. Dad! Oh, sorry. Whisper yelled. Dad! Light Whisper yelled as she ran over. She slipped one of her daggers out from under her sleeve and quickly cut through his bindings. Tears burned in Light's eyes when she saw that one of Waters' legs was missing. Legs! He was bleeding so much. Too much. She placed a hand on the stump of his leg and casted a spell to contain the blood temporarily. Light wasn't sure if he could die of blood loss, but she wasn't about to test the theory. Hang on, Dad, I got you, she said as she gently picked up Waters and cast the gliding invisibility spells again, this time extending the invisibility spell over Waters. She carried him out of the shuttle and far enough away from the fight where Elia wouldn't find him. She lowered the invisibility spell over them both as she gently placed Waters into a small pool of water, taking the time to purify the water as she did. She was going to go back to help the others when Waters grabbed her, his gray eyes meeting her pale violet and black eyes. There was a protective gleam in his eyes, an almost desperate attempt to keep her out of danger. Light shook her head. I can't leave the others behind, not when they came to help, she said softly. I'll be back soon, I promise. She gave Waters' head a quick and gentle nuzzle, messing his hair up ever so slightly. Then she gently pulled herself free of Waters' grip. She stood up and ran back to the others, praying that none of them were too badly injured. Yay! He's back, but no! His leg! My leg! Cam, can you do the, my leg guy? Well at all? You know, from SpongeBob? My leg!
My leg!
Good enough.
I can't really do one. I'm not. You know what I need
Waters and Marcelo to interact. I feel like they haven't interacted at all, but they're so similar.
Literally, there are 3 men in their near 40s who are all father figures and who all like drinking.
That's true. Yeah, don't Cam and Waters go to the bar every once in a while? Marcelo should just join them.
They do have bar trips now.
Oh. Mhm.
It is organized.
Please. I will talk to Virgil. We'll get this. I want the 3 of them to have a dad bar talk, you know?
The dad trio bar talk.
Dad trio.
Oh my god, get Croy into this.
Get Croy. Does Croy drink?
I don't
Can
know.
Croy drink?
Yeah, can Croy drink?
The four
Who's
fathers.
babysitting?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, to be fair, Light and Mira just kind of
They can
don't
take care
already.
of Sunny.
Yeah. Oh my gosh!
It takes a village to
Light,
raise a
Mira,
kid.
and Sunny go on a girls' night. And they get ice cream together.
Yeah.
Don't worry, guys. I can have Violence watch Sunny.
I want
What
to.
is it?
I want Freya to babysit Sunny sometime and just be terrible at it.
She's gonna have a genuine panic attack, not knowing where the hell she
She'll be
went.
like, "No, it's
She's-
easy.
you're-
I've got this."
I feel like
She's gonna
I feel
actively
like,
wonder how the hell Cam even does it.
Exactly. She'll gain a lot more respect.
oh my god. What I said, I was thinking it will be funny because it's either Mira teaches Kron how to insult someone where it hurts.
Oh no!
Or it's just like Light and Mira freaking out over Sunny.
Freya would
And
teach
Kron
Sunny
just
how to say
looks.
bitch.
Yeah.
God.
Lizard.
All right. More coordinated battle.
Oh, my shuffling cards didn't shuffle that way.
Croy cursed under a sharp huff, seeing his Light passed out, with Feather not too far in no greater condition. He let his tar shield around him, Kron and Cam fall, shooting up to stand and whipping his head around. Slippery little. He stopped himself, trying to keep his temper under control at the fact that Elia got away, again. Now wasn't the time to dwell on it. They needed to go to the hospital, and fast. The ghost turned towards Cam, who was crouched down beside Kron, looking between the injured trio while rubbing his temple. Croy could tell a headache was beginning to form in the man's head. Cam, I'm going to go get Waters. Let the hospital know that there are patients on their way. Croy spoke, his voice tensed, but he made it sound more sure of himself. His hands clenched and unclenched at his sides, taking another quick look around. And please, if any of them try to get up and walk, do not let them. I will be back as soon as I can. When Cam gave a firm nod of understanding, Croy set off towards the shuttle, letting go from Cam's senses and phasing through the wall of the shuttle. He searched the ship, recognizing from when it was first spotted, but there was nothing there. Waters was nowhere to be seen. God's damn it, if Elia nabbed him. Croy grumbled, his hands scratching at his cheek, stretching his face downwards unnaturally before readjusting and quickly getting out. From his chest, he extracted a dagger, darting through the area surrounding, almost like he was flying through. His stress built up as everything came up blank, muttering softly to himself. He needed to find Waters. He needed to make sure he wasn't fucking dead, for Light's sake. Light needed him. He whizzed by the trees, skidding to a stop as he heard a groan, turning his head about until he spotted Waters, slumped in a small body of water. He let out a breath of relief, but took quick action, darting forward and carefully focusing, struggling to get through Waters' thoughts. He was pissed, which was understandable, and worried sick. Eventually, once Croy was certain Waters could sense him, crouched down nearby, speaking quietly. Waters? It is Croy. I need to take you to the hospital to get you checked out, all right? I just need to carry you, so do not freak out, please. The ghost murmured the last bit partly under his breath, readjusting his position to have a firmer stance. Then he slowly extracted a large wave flow of tar from his chest, carefully maneuvering it beneath the injured man, being sure not to jostle the man and cause him any further pain. The tar slowly rose until it was in a bowl shape, collecting water and the injured man within it. He assumed that the water was to ease or assist Waters with his injured state, so he made sure to get enough to the point that it reached to about the waist. Okay, I will be careful. Just do not die, please. With that, the ghost began to hurry back to the shuttle, making sure to keep the bowl of Waters from moving around too. The visual of this is so funny to me. From moving around too much. It was a little difficult with the density of the mangrove trees everywhere, but he made it work. Finally, he made it to the clearing, noticing Kron sitting up with Cam and having a hand on their back, a comms device to his ear. Feather was propped up on her elbows, her eyes darting about and arms trembling under the effort to try to sit up. Light was still unconscious. Found him. Did you tell the hospital? Croy asked, gesturing to Waters and gently crouching down on the other side of Kron, who had their hands around the arrow wedged right into their chest. Their breathing was a little heavy, hair soaked from Elia's water abilities and sticking to their mask. They looked like they were debating pulling it out. Croy tensed at the sight, gathering Kron into a bridal carry into his arms, feeling as they shifted to be closer to his chest. Croy's ears twitched towards Cam as the man stood up too, putting the comms device into a strap on his belt. Hospital staff have been notified. There's 3 nurses getting things ready. Thank you, Cam. Now, to get there. Croy let out a small, tense sigh, trying to keep a relatively calm demeanor, just to not stress out anyone who are the most conscious at the moment. A panic with these many injured was not something he wanted. So he scooped up Light with another wave of tar from his chest, doing the same with Feather, who protested a little, but ultimately just gave up. Then he gave a nod to Cam to lead the way, readjusting his grip on Kron gently as both began to make their way to the hospital. He was going to get sick of that building soon. The ghost let out a heavy huff as the white building came into view, Cam taking the lead ahead to let the prepared staff inside that the patients he had contacted them were here. He made quick glances to Waters, Feather, and Light, making sure they were still breathing, that their hearts were still beating. He did the same with Kron, however, taking pause for a moment, seeing that the arrow that was previously wedged in their chest was nowhere to be found. Kron? Croy began, only to stop when Kron raised their hand a little, showing the bloody arrow in their hand. They had pulled it out without Croy noticing. How? I got Miss Secondhand worse than she to me. Kron answered weakly, a hint of happiness still in their voice. Their mask was pushed up a little with their free hand, showing their little grin, cheeky and proud. You happy with me? Croy let out a small huff, though it had a hint of amusement in it, the ghost putting it up to comfort his kin. Of course, hun. I am very proud of you. Croy gave Kron a small squeeze, finally reaching the doorway of the hospital, soon swarmed by hospital staff to treat the patients he carried once again. If y'all ever get an arrow in you, don't take it out. Bad idea, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that, don't do that. But apparently it was okay. That hospital needs to go just so that people stop, like, since it showed up, it like people have been getting hurt. We just need to get rid of the hospital. There you go. No more people in the
So it's the
hospital.
hospital's fault that people keep getting hurt.
Yeah, no more hospital. No more people in the hospital. Easy. No more judicial branch. No more people getting put in prison.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Of
Oh,
course
yeah,
you
I
would agree with that.
I agree.
You
I agree,
criminal.
guys. I agree. No judicial
Please don't
branch.
unemploy me.
No keepers of solace, guys. No keepers of solace.
But I was personally slime you.
No.
I don't want to fill out a job application. I was like, oh, I
That
can't
scared
imagine
me.
Kron would take it out because Cam would have been watching with first aid knowledge to go no, but then bam. Ah! That didn't actually scare me. We had no
know.
doctors or nurses aside from a fake Magos and Adela.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Actually, regarding to Freya, this is like I don't know, like if I just shoot a random laser or like just shoot randomly everywhere in the sky, would it eventually hit Freya?
So she's
Freya-
made of energy.
Like if it goes
There's
out of
no-
the atmosphere,
You can't even if you were like her form stretches like she can change her form, but like it stretches like light years. Hundreds of light years across. And also like you can't touch it, you can't interact with it, you can't shoot it. Like she's untouchable. She's made of energy. That's it. She gives herself like a
I-
physical,
Like one of
visible
those
form.
things where like you're
Like,
playing
you-
with a toddler and like they
Also,
keep
like,
making the
okay.
rules.
There's physical, realistic ways that follow like normal laws of energy and stuff, but the problem is no other living being can apply that method using those laws unless they're another Lumeran. That's
Yeah.
honestly what the conclusion I've come to.
Yeah,
Is
no.
that
Yep, I saw.
if you manage to make a breakthrough in physical technology, what you can do is you can simultaneously dissipate every bit of energy at once, and then she can't reform, likely. But that's what eating another Lumeran does. It absorbs the energy into because energy can't be created nor destroyed, and if she's pure energy, it has to be dissipated, changed, absorbed, something, and it has to be all done at once.
Yeah. What I've come up with is another Lumeran has to eat her. That's it. Also, Frog, the reason that Freya did not really react much during the crash out during the faction meeting is because I suck at role playing. That's all it is. I didn't know how Freya should respond there.
It's because Freya doesn't care. All right, we've already established this, Frogger. Freya does not care. She does not want to help anyone. It's just her nature.
But I said my favorite headcanon is that I just say stuff that first comes to mind and it becomes canon, and that's how I roleplay.
Yeah, the thing is with Freya, like, so, okay, she also, like, I was saying this earlier, but she doesn't really, like, she has lived her whole life in just pure peace, billions of years old.
Sheltered child.
The what?
Sheltered
child. Yeah. No, she's lived like for billions of years, just like chilling, building planets and stuff. Like she's had such a good life, and then she comes to Solace, and there's just so much pain and suffering that she's never been. Because like when you're like a human, you grow up and you learn that life is tough and whatever. You learn how to process. She never learned how to process like emotions, in the same way.
I think the best way I would describe it is in something that Freya helped me write. A being that has the power of the universe in her hands, yet cannot understand human emotion.
Yeah, exactly.
I would assume that she's seen it all, considering that she's seen planets get made and destroyed.
So,
yeah, but she never
interesting question. Or interesting thought. Sorry, Mika.
It's good. It's like because her first biological encounter was a human.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, plants are alive, but like they don't speak. in the same way we do. Like, yes, they communicate, but like it's in a way that she would familiarize to atoms moving around. Like, this is the first time she
Yeah.
sees someone, like a human. Like, that's the first time she sees something like interact in another way that's like not random or not follow like any specific reasoning.
Yeah, and she also so Lumarin, like, she has a personality. Other Lumarin have Omen has a different personality. He has interacted with many different cultures. Freya has chosen not to because she's afraid of, which I haven't really written her like origin or whatever, but like one of her first like thoughts while when being alive is she ate a planet or like some sort of star or something, and she was like, oh shit, what if I hurt, like, what if that destroyed something? I destroyed it. And she felt bad about that. And then she was very afraid of interacting with other things that she encountered because, you know, she was afraid that it would destroy it. And then when she, like, discovered other Lumerian and talked to them, she found out that there's other life out there and whatever, and she became very afraid of hurting people. So that's why she doesn't go out like other
Some may
Lumerian.
say she became vegan.
Pretty much. She didn't like making Solace and its star used up all of her like, because like, you know, Lumerian like eat matter, convert it into energy, and then convert energy into matter. That's all of her stored energy is Solace in the star. She doesn't really have much else. But she hasn't gone out and like tried to get more like matter or energy stored because she's afraid it's gonna hurt someone. And I do have plans for her to go out with either Ladice or Comet like way later to go and like learn like, hey, this is safe to eat, you're not gonna hurt anyone, don't eat, you know, this, whatever. But that's for later. And like other Lumerian have personalities where they've interacted with people before and stuff. Freya only ran into Marcelo and the rest of the Arcturus crew because she thought that it was another Lumerian trying to talk to her.
G'day, my friends.
What? Oh yeah. She saw the warp signature from it, and like because Lumerian speak in like gravity waves and stuff and whatever, she saw that and she was like, oh my gosh, it's a friend, but they're just not talking to me the right way. That's weird. So yeah, the only she's I haven't really thought much about like what other Lumerian have done, but I assume that others have interacted with other cultures. It would be interesting to explore sometime, maybe in another What If season or something. But yeah, that's my ramble about Lumerian. Yeah, you can't really do much to her. Like people, like Truffle said, you can hurt her emotionally. Belios did that. Okul did that. Well, Belios didn't really. That wasn't his fault. Okul did
That's
that.
what I did to IRL Freya.
The what?
That's
what you
what I
do to me.
IRL Freya.
Yeah.
So the only way of hurting Freya is through emotion.
Pretty much
Got
at the
it.
moment. Unless you, I mean, I wouldn't put it past Violence to team up with Omen and be like, hey, eat this bitch.
Just hear me out. I can fix Omen. I swear, chat.
Now you're giving me ideas.
Violence teams
tell
up
me
with
these
Gatsby to break the fourth wall and shut down the server so that Freya as a being also doesn't exist.
I forgot. Tomorrow an event is going to start. Or maybe it's not tomorrow.
Wait.
Maybe it's this Saturday. I don't remember. There's a thing.
Is it the thing?
Have you guys heard of Taskmaster? I didn't say anything.
No.
I didn't say anything. Hee.
Yes, mister.
I gotta remember to get that because it's all written out. I just need to plan it. I need to record. No, it is
Dead
recorded.
wife
I need to
haunted-
make the video and post it. Do you guys want it tomorrow or do you want it Saturday?
I want it now.
I could
Now?
stand to wait a little.
Okay, Saturday's
don't know
good.
what
I have many things to do.
Yeah, Saturday it
I
is.
probably do know what we're talking about, but I don't know what we're talking about.
If you weren't here from like last season, like February last season, was it? Yeah, I think it was February. Then you probably won't know.
Was I here? I don't think I was.
If you're curious,
I dream.
go back
August.
in the announcements channel and look for Taskmaster. All right, final log before I head off to not bed, but probably get the Taskmaster stuff working. Okay, Balios log, question mark, question mark. So I joined the Keepers of Solace Hospital. Ironic because I keep ending up as a patient, but I need to make sure Light is taking care of herself. I'm paranoid that something might happen to my sister and I won't be there. Update, I wasn't there. I walked in to find more patients I needed to check on. One of the names on my list was Light. I went in when she was unconscious. I checked her vitals. It worried me to see her like this. That's all for now. Gotta head back to checking on patients. They let anyone into the hospital. Dude, if Okel showed up with a job, like a resume in hand, they'd probably be like, yeah, sure. I was telling Glitch earlier that if Okel showed up and apologized to Freya, she'd probably be like, yeah, okay, I forgive you. You're chill, you're chill. You can
Mira
come into the
might be
winter
going
ball.
rogue if that were to happen.
Alright, we have so much stuff for tomorrow. But because it is so long, I'll save that for tomorrow. Okay. Well, 'twas fun. I hope that my VOD doesn't get muted because I was playing my own music.
I hope it does. I'm praying on your downfall.
Of course you are.
That's not nice violence.
Of course you are. When do I not? When do I not?
Alright. Farewell all. I will see you
Good night,
tomorrow.
chat.